Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new 2017 Power Rangers movie Legacy Collection 6.5-inch figures from Bandai America. Now there's 6 figures in this series. These figures are Toys R Us exclusives. We've got the Blue Ranger, the Pink Ranger, the Black Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, the Red Ranger, and Alpha 5. These figures come in pretty generic looking packaging. The only one that's a little bit different is Alpha 5 because he doesn't have his own picture on the front of the box. He's got a picture of the Red Ranger. But the others basically have the figures clearly displayed in the window box, and then you've got images for each of the characters down in the corner, and you've got the Power Rangers logo at the bottom, and then the names are off to the side. It also tells us that each figure comes with a piece to build a Megazord figure. The back of the packaging is exactly the same on all 6 figures. It shows you an image of the Megazord, the Build-A-Figure for this series, and then down below it shows you all the figures that you need to get in order to complete that Megazord. All right, let's get these open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging along with their other contents. Now, the only figure that comes with an individual accessory other than the Build-A-Figure piece is the Red Ranger, and he has that energy blade that we often see with the Red Ranger, and this is done with a semi-translucent blue plastic. You've got the red, and you've just got the little grip here, and you stick it in his right hand. You can actually put it in the right or the left hand. And again, that's the only figure that comes with his own accessory, a weapon of any kind. And then each figure comes with a piece to the Megazord. So the Yellow Ranger comes with the right arm, the Red Ranger comes with the left arm, Alpha 5 comes with the torso piece, the Black Ranger comes with the right leg, the Blue Ranger comes with the left leg, and the Pink Ranger comes with the wings that fit on the back. Now, putting together the Megazord is pretty easy. You just snap on the pieces. So you put the right leg on the right side, and you've just got the little ball joint there. So you just pop it into place, and then the left leg, and then the left arm, the right arm, and then you have these wing pieces that just plug into the back here. Now, definitely not to scale with the other figures, but I think the detail on this is pretty good. I like the metallic pink that they use on the wings and on the face, and then you've got the kind of purple. Not a lot of super detail as far as the sculpting goes, but overall I think it looks pretty true to the movie. And then you've got the red and blue and yellow on the torso piece, and some dark blue here on the middle, and then just this kind of dark gray throughout most of the body, and then some lighter gray plastic. So the Bandai has made several different sizes of this Megazord, including a pretty big one that I would say is more in scale with these figures. But, you know, it's kind of cool that they included this. Now, articulation on the Megazord, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. You can do the arms. You can't do it with the wings on the back. You can't do it all the way around, but you can rotate it forward and back. It's just on a ball joint, so you can't really do the arm up much without it popping off. That's about as far out as you can get the arm. And then he's got a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. Does not have rotation there at the elbow, and then has no rotation at the wrist. So no articulation other than the elbow joint on the arm, and then no midsection articulation. The legs, again, are attached with ball joints, so it can only do the splits about that much, but can get the leg forward good and can do the leg back about that much. No thigh swivel, single hinged knee, so it can bend his knee about that much. No swivel at the knee, and then no ankle articulation on this, and no peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Do have a little rotation where these legs attach with these ball joints, so you can kind of rotate it a little bit back and forth there at the ball joint. Same with the arms. You've got a little bit of back and forth movement there at the shoulders with those ball joints. And the Megazord stands at about 8 inches tall. Here's a comparison with the movie Megazord with one of Bandai America's regular Megazords released in the non-movie Legacy line. So for the figures themselves, starting with Alpha 5, this seems to be mostly just a sized up version of the 5-inch version that they released. However, the paint applications are a little bit better. They finished painting some of the red on the legs. On the 5-inch version, they left the legs completely unpainted with the red. So I do like that. And just like with the 5-inch version, this guy looks like to me a turkey. He's got like a turkey body or some kind of bird body, and then he's got this disc head. So I know that's pretty movie accurate, so I'm not complaining about the figure, but I do think this guy looks kind of funny. He's got the 2 toes for the feet. He's got the kind of long, scrawny arms, and then he's got this sculpting detail throughout. For the head, he's got it's just gray plastic, and then he's got this little bowl on the top that's kind of a bluish metallic color, and then you've got the red, and then for his eyes it's a goldish green metallic color. So overall I'd say it looks pretty movie accurate, and if you don't mind him looking like a walking turkey with a disc head, then I think you'll like this character. So for the male figures, the red, the blue, and the black Rangers, they use the same body molds, and then they just have different head sculpts and different paint applications. Basically, the red, the blue, and the black. The lighter blue colors that you see throughout are exactly the same. The belts are pretty much the same, though the Red Ranger does have a little more detail. He's got red in the middle of the belt as opposed to the others do not. But otherwise, they're pretty much the same. And again, same body mold, same sculpting and everything across the board between the 3 figures. It's just the head sculpts that are different between the 3. For the 2 female figures, again, they share the same body mold with the same sculpting detail and pretty much the same color scheme as far as the blue and the silver highlights throughout the body. The only difference is one is yellow and the other is pink. And then again, they have different head sculpts. Now, with these two, the belts are a little bit different. On the yellow one, you have a little bit of yellow in the middle of the belt and on the belt buckle, and then the pink one has some looks like a lighter color, and then a darker, almost reddish pink color in the middle of her belt buckle. But again, otherwise, the silvers and the blues and everything are the same across the board, and then they just have the different head sculpts. And this is, pretty much what we've seen with all the Legacy Collection figures, where the males share the same body molds and the females share the same body molds. Now, one other thing I want to note is you do get this kind of weird-looking separation between the legs and the torso piece on both the male and the female molds. It stands out a little bit more on the male ones, but you do see that separation with the legs on the female as well. So the female figures actually are a little bit taller, seem to be a hair taller than the male figures, and the female figures stand at just about 6.5 inches tall, maybe a little bit over 6.5 inches. And then the male figures are about 6.5 inches tall. And then the Alpha 5 figure, if you count the disc, is about a little bit under 5.5 inches. And if you count the tip of his head, that little ball on the top of his head, then it's closer to 5 and maybe 3/4 inches tall. And here's a comparison with the 6.5-inch Legacy Collection figures with the basic 5-inch ones. And you can see as far as sculpting and paint applications go, they're very similar between the 2 scales. Here's a comparison with the 6-movie Legacy Collection figures along with the Megazord. Here's a comparison of the Legacy non-movie 6.5 Red Ranger, Pink Ranger, and Blue Ranger with their movie counterparts. And just for fun, here's a comparison with Hasbro's 6-inch Marvel Legends Iron Man movie figure, which I'm guessing was an inspiration for these movie versions of the Power Ranger suits. Okay, so for articulation with these, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. The heads are attached with ball hinge joints, so they can look down a little bit and they can look up some, about that much. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder. Now, you can get the arms out about that much. They do have these little shoulder pads, which can limit some of the movement there, but not too bad. Good rotation there at the arm. They do not have bicep swivels. Now, the male figures do have double hinged elbows. The female figures only have single hinged elbows. That's really the only difference between the male and the female figures as far as articulation goes. Arms or hands are attached with these little ball hinge joints, so you've got up and down movement and you've got rotation there at the hand. They have these ab crunch type joints, so they don't really crunch down very much. They can look back a little bit there at the midsection, and then they have waist swivels as well. Legs are attached with ball joints, so they can get the legs out. They can do the splits good and get the leg forward pretty good. Can't really do the legs back very much because of the way the butt is sculpted. Has a thigh swivel, just popped off the ball joint there, but has a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, so good bending there at the knees. And then with the feet, you've got the hinges, and you do have an ankle type pivot, and no real peg holes. The male figures do have these little holes on the back of their feet. I don't really think those are peg holes, though. The female figures do not have any kind of peg hole at all. Articulation with the Alpha 5 figure, the head is attached with the ball joint, so you can turn the head to the left and to the right, and he can look down pretty good. He can look up a little bit, and then you can pivot the head to the left and the right as well. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good, and he's got good rotation there at the arm. He does not have a bicep swivel. He has a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. And then he's got swivels at the hand. Hands are just attached with what looks like little ball joints, so you've got some up and down movement with the hands. Does not have any midsection articulation. And then the legs are attached with, again, ball hinge joints, but with the way the legs are sculpted, he can't really do the splits at all. He can get his leg out and forward pretty good, and then you can do the leg back pretty good as well. And you got a little bit of rotation there where the leg meets the body, but with that ball joint, but not a whole lot. No actual thigh swivel or anything. And then single hinge knee, so he can bend his knee about that much. And then the feet, you've got rotation. Again, like with the hands, they look like they're just attached with little ball joints. So you do have a little bit of back and forth movement with the feet, and you can do it to the left and right a little bit, but not what I would call real ankle pivot. And then no peg holes on the bottom of the feet for this one. One thing I do want to note about articulation with both the male and the female figures in this line is the articulation, the joints seem to have a tendency to get kind of loose, especially like with the legs here where they attach to the body. They can get kind of loose, and sometimes that can make it a bit hard for them to stay standing. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I would say that these figures are pretty basic paint applications. The articulation is not too bad. Like I mentioned before, the joints can get a little bit loose on them. Definitely could use some more accessories, some weapon accessories. I'm assuming in the movie they do use some type of weapons during the movie, and it would have been nice if maybe they included some of those with these figures. I do like the Megazord Build-A-Figure feature, but again, it would have been nice if we'd gotten a few more weapons with these figures. But if you've been collecting the non-movie legacy figures, then I think these will be ones you want to add to your collection. These are out now. They are Toys R Us exclusives. We'll have a full image gallery up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.